Hello, I'm back to play some more Islanders New Shores. I have a want to get top of the leaderboard on all of the challenges. It's going to take a while. I might do some of it off camera just because it's going to take a while. Some of the work that I've already done is on No Time to Dilly Dally. I've been theorizing about how to get to the highest score here. This one, obviously cheated. Not enough time to make it to Island 12, and what is it? The score is just, it's too high for anything that's feasible within 30 minutes. So the true Dr. Mesh here was able to get to Island 6 and then run it through until, the timer went out and get all of his points there. I think that I'm going to be going for a high-scoring Island 6 instead. You'll see that my score is currently sitting at 13,000 or around 14,000. This was 8,000 points before I got to Island 5, and then all 6,000 points on Island 5. I just forgot to end the island and cash in all of my bonus point scoring, so I don't know exactly how high this will get. I don't think it's going to be, quadrupled up to be able to beat this score, so I think I am going to have to make it to Island 6 on like a crazy run. But my running theory is, or not my running theory, but like what I'd like to try doing is get to Island 5, run it as high as I can, and then move to Island 6 and see how many bonus points those are. To get a good run, you need to get some good early game buildings so that all of your earlier islands you can just absolutely rush through. So if I don't get Verdure on Island 2 or on Island 3, I'm resetting. If I don't get Mountain Shrine, I'm resetting, because that's one of the payoff buildings that I want for all of the trees that I'm going to be planting. I would prefer to get Sauna, but it's not necessary, and I need Fortune Teller as well, because that's another big source of points with score multiplies and duplications. The idea is that I'm going to be picking up a bunch of boons to be able to lower the boon pool overall, and set myself up to have Blossom as my first boon going into Island 5. And then that Blossom is going to make all of the trees that I'm planting with the Verdure that I have create a bunch of blossom trees, which are great for hermitages, parks, shamans, mountain shrines, and only playing my green buildings means that every other building I don't have to, and front loading all of my points like that allows me to play fortune tellers for a lot of points. This would be better if I could get to Island 6, because then I have more buildings to play on the fortune tellers that are going to be larger, but I don't know if I have enough time. The last time, I don't know if I played too slowly or what it was, but I had around 17 or 18 minutes on Island 5, and it took me the full 17 or 18 minutes to play it properly. I might just get better, and I might be able to have maybe like 15 minutes by the time I get to Island 6, and then create a better score. But for right now, we're going to run it to Island 5. You'll see that my current run right now is one of those Island 5s at 20 minutes, which is great. I had Verdure. I think I also picked up the Fortune Teller. I don't have Blossom sitting in wait, and I didn't hit a ley line, which means I don't have some sealed boons to help kickstart the beginning of the island, which is also something that I want. So I need to find a ley line, and that can only appear on Island 4. I do want to find a ley line, because the extra 60 points at the beginning allows you to take 2 building packs at the beginning, and that's really powerful. With the 20 minutes that I have here, I could try running this out. I am not going to, because this is way too flat of an island. There's no place for wall platforms. There's no place to create a nice residential district. Sure, there's no flowers for my verdures to hit, so I can place a lot of them. I mean, there's a very small few, but this is also a fantasy biome, which means that some of your trees are already blossomed. You'll see that these guys that are worth 3 points have flowers on them. That's no good. My blossom doesn't give it extra points, and the verdure spawns overall less trees compared to a temperate or a tropical biome, which if I'm spawning less trees, that means there's less things for my blossom to hit, less things for my park to hit. I need a tropical biome to end on. Now, the way to have that happen is either run it back so many times that you eventually just luck into a tropical biome, or you also get rerolls as a boon before it gets there. I used rerolls and I didn't get the island that I want, so I'm going to be resetting. There's going to be a lot of resetting here, by the way, because getting Verdure is not common, I want to say. Maybe about 30% of the runs, 40% of the runs that I'm doing, I'll see it by Island 2 or 3. You'll also not see me select buildings often because I'm using hotkeys. It's absolutely necessary to use them in this which means that if anybody's playing on controller, sorry, but you're just not going to be able to compete with the PC Master Race, you know? The first island, there's not too much strategy to it. It is just play as quickly as you can. You don't have to worry about like not scoring enough points. You will. It's really hard to fail getting 200 points, which I might here. Nope. There we go. And then with the mason and the extra seaweed farm, I should complete. There we go. So I don't care about scoring extra points on these islands because they don't matter. If I get a lot of score loops and a lot of buildings placed on islands, or on island 5, that is going to like triple all of the points that I earn there, maybe quadruple it if I'm lucky, which means that it's 4 times as good to play those later islands than these ones. And I also have more late game buildings just score more. Okay. Now, something that I do need to reset early on as well is I don't want pyres in my final build. I don't want temples in my final build. They're not a building that is going to score too much. So I'm resetting here. So we're looking for a mountain shrine or a sauna or a fortune teller or a verdure. One of 4 buildings at the very beginning. Bad island generation, but it's the difference of like 10 seconds. We also didn't get a brewery pack, which is not as nice. Brewery packs allow you to start really quickly because the hop fields score so much around the statue. So you'll see me like almost exclusively pick those guys up when given the opportunity. Nope. Damn, no more hop fields. I guess that's what I get for taking city pack early. And that's the end of the island, so I got out of here at 29 minutes, 22 seconds. Again, if I have like a good island one, it's the difference of 8 seconds. That's not gonna be like a meaningful difference later on. There's no reason for me to reset for these early islands. So we see verdure, and oh, okay, this is like the best that you can get. Lava islands are really good early on because they'll start with a statue with a wisp on it, which just means that you can like turn your brain off and take city center and just get an extra 5 points on each of the buildings that you play after the city center. So here I will take brewing pack, and we're gonna put this off to the side and not bounce the wisp off of it because I want to do that with city pack. So place some random flowers here, and then to get to the next one, I'm gonna have to play all of these guys with flowers, and now with city pack, we place a city center down beside the statue, and then I'm gonna play mansions instead of houses. I don't know if one is better than the other, but I don't want to think because I'm trying to run it as quick as I can. Kind of get punished, nothing that I can know of because we didn't get any, mansions to keep the train going. Happens sometimes. We're gonna hope for some mansions. There's 3, that's great. Sealed boon is a good pickup. I'm also just gonna have to place some buildings here without bouncing the wisp, and that's fine. The shaman I can place, let's try doing it around some of my flowers that I placed before, that's good. More mansions that I don't have to think about. Masons beside the city center. And next island. Before I go on to the next island, though, I do need to check this boon. And I don't know if it's worth it to, on this island, get the extra, I think it's only 100 points to get to the next boon. I don't like how cramped I was on the beach, which didn't allow me to play as many, like, wisp bounces as I wanted to. So I'm not going to try getting the boon this time around. I think on a different run, or a different island generation, I would. Now we have the option between Terrace and Pyre. I'm going to keep playing because I've got an early verdure by taking Terrace here. Terrace allows me to get my mountain shrines in much better spots, which will maybe get me like a point difference of like 100 to 150 points at the end, which I would prefer other buildings to Terrace, but it's not the worst thing. I could also play Terrace right here and take an early city pack, and that can also score me a lot of points. I do realize that I'm now cramping the space with both hop fields and a brewery, but hey, we're playing quick. I'm not making correct decisions all the time. Here's the city pack, and then we put a city center down here, and mansions underneath the city center and the statue, and then houses get to go up top. And this should be a pretty quick island 3 from getting that terrace early. I'm not taking seaweed pack because that's going to add too many buildings to my building bar, or too many buildings to my building pool, or more of them, and I want to be drawing my residential buildings because they're pretty easy to place. Is this a good spot? This is not. I'm just going to take it just because I've already lined it up. Let's go there. Let's go there. The verdures, I would like to get more greenery out of them for my lumberjacks. This over here seems fine. And I guess I'll just spawn some fish while I'm waiting. Lighthouse, I don't really need to wait for anything. We've got another city center, which I'll put far away from the statue so that I can just build other houses around it pretty neatly. Neatly, I say as it's all over the place. As neat as it can be, or not as it can be, but as quick as it can be in no time to dilly-dally. We'll get some more on top of the terrace again. It's fine. Does this fit? Nice. The shaman can go over here. I remember there being more flowers than usual. We can create a new city center over there. I guess these guys aren't worth as many points as I want them to be anymore. Fountain would be great in this area. Nice. Okay, I can't remember where I started my wheat fields or if I have started them anywhere, but I'll just place all of them down here. Mill down. I don't know where the masons should go, so I'm just going to place them randomly for their base 9 score. We got 1 sandpit and 1 brickyard. That's wild. The lumberjacks, I know that I spawned some trees over here. Okay, so I'm going to go for 1 extra boon on this island, since I feel like I have the ability to. Plateau is pretty nice for over here. We can get some houses on this, and a park, and that is the 4th boon. Okay, so, let me pause. When I pause, there is no time that is like being ticked down. I don't know if you guys saw, but it was 25 minutes and 14 seconds up there. When I unpause, it's still going to be 25 minutes and 14 seconds. When you're choosing buildings or boons, that's going to run down the timer. But if you want to, you can go into photo mode, hide the UI, and drag the camera around so you can move your camera to where your next play is. Let's say I had seaweed farms all the way out here, and that takes me 3 seconds to scroll to, or maybe a bit longer because I don't know where it is to be able to find my buildings. I can come out in photo mode and then back out of this, and now my camera is positioned over here ready for me to place any of my buildings. You can also take the time to plan your build during this. So if I get to island 5, I can scout the entire island to look to see where I want to put my verdure area, my residential area, my industrial area, and then go into the level and play it. And I can take a full minute or 2 to plan, and that doesn't count against my time, which is nice, but a little bit scummy. I'm still going to use it to try to get the world record. Feel free to use it yourself too. I don't think it's under the table. It just seems slightly unintentional, you know? I have 4 boons to pick up now, so when I go back out of this, I'm going to hit tab to swap over to them and then open up all 4 of them, choosing junk boons, ones that I don't want to have in my final build. Oh, I already pressed tab. Right, I had to consider between bargain and replace. Bargain is a copy, replace is about an extra 20 not an extra 20 buildings, it's an extra 9 buildings, getting rid of a building type that you don't like in the final area. Well, it's 20. Okay, so from my experience, you'll get about 15 buildings of a particular type, say huts or seaweed fields. Seaweed fields are pretty good to put down though, especially for earlier points. So replace, I don't know if it really gives me the buildings that I want, because I would want to somehow cycle into verdure a second time around so that I have even more trees on my final area, but that isn't possible, not using replace early on. So I'm going to take replace and leave bargain around, because bargain is going to get me an extra fortune teller, which with a score multiplier is worth 500 to 550 points, which is going to be worth a lot more than whatever replace is going to give me. At least I think. Okay, so every building that I place gives me a 0.5% of extra points from the bonus point scoring at the end. So if I place an extra 10 buildings, that's an extra 5% on my total score. 5% on my total score of like around 5,000 is... And these buildings don't even have to score any points to be like doing this. Those buildings... Oh, sorry, what is 5% of 5,000? That's what, 250? I think it's still better for me to take bargain. Just so that I don't have to worry about when I rip replace. Or, not take bargain here, but take bargain later on. Next one to take, we want to save level up for later. Add verdure is nice, but it's not as good as, what is it, bargain. And then we don't need cliff houses later on. So now we move on to the next island. So I do see that the timer is at 24 minutes, right? Or 25 minutes? 24 minutes and a lot of seconds. That's at the end of Island 3, so it's taken us 5 minutes to get here, which I'm hoping to complete Island 4 in another 5 minutes itself. We're looking for a ley line. No ley line. We do get a fortune teller, so I will try running this out, but I do want sealed boons before I go into the last island, which means that I could try playing out Island 6, score enough points to move on to Island 7, and then max out my score there. Or subtract 1 from all of the islands that I just said. Brewing pack because it's great early on. We're not going to take a city pack because I want more hop fields. I don't know if I can keep up with a city pack. Lumberjacks out here seem fine to me. We're going to keep going and hoping for, yep, more hop fields. Another lumberjack here is fine, and then I'll start playing all my sawmills. It's moving up slightly, so it's moving where the lumberjacks are. Alright, even more hop fields. Ooh, and that's great. Farming pack pretty early, too. Or maybe not early, but it feels like it. Are there any... There is a bunch of flowers over here. I can tuck it to this corner, I can tuck it to this one. Let's go there. Sure. I think there was a space down here that I wanted to get into. Like that. The parks are going to be great beside all of the fields, so we'll get those guys down. Guess that works. Okay. Brewery can go on the other side of it. I know this is taking up a lot of space beside the statue. I don't care. Another shaman. I think I saw... Yeah, another spot down here. The huts don't do anything because they don't have city centers yet, and that doesn't really matter to me. I'd like to go one more set of buildings, then I'm going to rip my fortune teller. Okay, we're going to rip both of our fortune tellers. That. Sure, doesn't need to be perfect. The warehouse is fine by the sawmills. I guess over here as well. Okay, now is definitely the time where I'm going to be picking up a, what's it called? City center, so that I can start playing those buildings. And I'm going to be doing so on the beach, just out of the way of everything, so that I can play a bunch of my residential buildings. Fast and loose, just because I want to have things like my market or my towers scale, or I've got 7 masons, I should start playing some of those. This will help scale my towers. Or plateaus if I have any of them. Do I have plateaus? Have I? Oh, it doesn't give you plateaus because it's a rising island. Interesting. Hermitage can go here, I guess. That works. I think the lumberjacks up top are going to make it score too little. We can put a market up here. Yeah, sure. I don't need to micromanage when that goes down. Mansions were on this side. Houses were on the other. That way, when I place down my circus, it's actually going to score something. It doesn't. It's fine. Walls. These can just be linked together. And then towers to finish it off. Okay, I am going to score to get an extra boon here, just because it seems like it's easy enough to. We have more space for lumberjacks up here, I think. Or sawmills beside these lumberjacks, yeah. Here we go, and that's 5 boons to go through, so I don't need a statue. I do not need a shrink building. I do not need a wall platform that badly. I do not need adaptable, and I don't want demolish. I'm gonna go one more to see if I can find blossom. Monument is not going to be good anywhere. This guy, I think I saw it worth 23 points somehow. It was probably off the map that it was worth 23. That was worth 27. Let's get that down. Fish kite around all of the towers. Another laddered wall. Statue can go down in a green area. And then parks beside the statue. Okay. Then here, we don't see it. Okay. I'm just going to hope that on this next island I find blossom, or because this was such a quick island, I might be able to push it from finalizing it on Island 5 to finalizing it on Island 6. Now you see that I was at 4,000 points here, and my bonus points bring me all the way up to 6,500. I got an extra 2,000 points from the bonus scoring. I'm hoping to leverage that for all it's worth later on. Mountain Shrine is good, lava's terrible. I'm going to take this. I'm going to hope to get through this level so quickly that I have enough time on Island 6 to do the plan that I want to. Which does mean that me, like, pushing for more boons on the last one wasn't a good idea. Verdure early is nice. I can't take too long on this island as much as I want to. Okay, let's do a brickmaker pack, and we're waiting to get city center so that I can start just placing down a bunch of residential buildings beside these statues. Sandpit 1, Sandpit 2, sure, why not? City pack, there we are. Which one is the better one to put a city around? I think it's this guy. And let's get a bunch of mansions down below, and then we'll move up top afterwards. That's not a great spot to put this guy in. Or at least the mansions don't want to be played around here nicely. Oh, that sucks. I know that I can sneak you down under there. It's not worth it to be doing this. It's not worth it. Come on. Because I need to get the wisp to bounce onto this side. I guess we'll just do this. I'm definitely taking way too long to micro my position on these mansions. Come on, please fit. That doesn't fit. Okay, well, not a great start. I think the other side is going to be my warehouse side, so I can start on my hop fields and my breweries to bounce everything around, because then I'll pull it off onto a warehouse and then onto my farms afterwards. That's the plan. Mason, I guess this just goes beside the city center for now. I don't want to place any of this down. I guess I have to get rid of a house. Okay. Give me something to be able to bounce the wisp off of my mansion and onto my houses, please and thank you. That's a great scoring shaman. That'll help out a lot. We have to place down another house. Fountain. Perfect. This is what I needed. And then this goes down here so that I can now start playing houses in the area with wisp bounces. Not as many as I would have liked beside the city center, but we just have to take it. Parks will be nice. But you have to play a residential building in between each of them, so it does take longer to place them compared to other buildings. And then this park here, can that pick it up? No, this could, and then I need to play a house over here probably to pick it up. There we go. And then a park on this side again. Okay, now we've got a plateau, which doesn't matter, I guess. You into, let's make some more buildable space down there. Another park. And then a house. Oh, we've got some more shamans. Is there any other corner spots I can sneak them into over here? That works. Those two work. New hop field. Tower is pretty nice to capitalize on all the residential buildings I've played so far, but not much beyond that. Warehouse. This is what I was looking for. But I need a brewery before I can pop them off. Rough. Thought I'd be getting more breweries, but I guess with the city center, or the city pack that I've taken, it just takes too long to find another one. Come on. There we go. Tavern. We still don't have the brewery that we want that we're looking for. Tavern is not great to capitalize off of because we don't have the city centers to make it worthwhile. I am just going to be playing this fortune teller to be able to get points to move on to the next building pack. Let's see if the boons can help us out at all. Reroll, no. Terrace, sure. I would like to play... Fountain has to come later. Can we get a house to pull this up here? No, it doesn't score off of it. Okay, so mansion. Scoring off of this into a park to get it off the mansion. And then we play houses up here. I should be playing mansions up here. Then houses to pull it back down. Yeah, I'll just take the minus 30 points to be able to play 2 terraces beside each other. That seems like it's worthwhile. Oh, and now we've got the brewery to be able to pull the wisp off of this hop field. Right there. And then onto a warehouse. And then onto a mill. And then onto all of my wheat fields. And these guys are going to start scoring a lot of points. There we go. That's what I was waiting for. Alright, we do have an extra mill that I'll pull it off and onto again. Let's go here, 460. New plateau. Hopefully we can fill out some extra ground here. Let's pull this wisp back up. Do the parks do well up here? They do well enough. My Hermitage is not going to do well really anywhere. I guess maybe over here beside all the wheat fields. Sure. New city center. It's been a while, man. Let's use a tower to pull this guy back down. Let's make sure that it's out of range of the other one. And then more mansions down here, beside both the city center and a plateau. Hop field over here. And I'm very close to the end. Okay, so now I wanted to pause to be able to look for where this area is because I want to get my precious metal mines and a jeweler down here. So then I have 2 precious metal mines, 1, 2, and my jeweler. And then this wall, okay, 36 points. I'm not gonna cry at 36 points. Now we look through the rest of our boons and there's Blossom. Okay, so I've only got 14 minutes for the last island. That's a very small amount of time. But I do have Blossom prepped and I have the buildings that I want, except for Terrace. Terrace is fine. Again, it can put the mountain shrines on top of it to make sure that they score full points, but the building that I'm really hoping for here is a sauna. If I see a tropical sauna, what is it? Aurora? That's perfect. That's like exactly what I want. I did get, not exactly unlucky, but this isn't a perfect run because I didn't get a ley line on one of my earlier islands, so I'm not going into this with like 4 sealed boons. Okay, so we're at around 10,500 going into this level. Let's see how much our bonus points are gonna amass to by the end. So I'm seeing tropical, and Sacred Rocks is good early game power, but Harbor Pack. I think there's like 2 harbors and 8 docks in the pack, so it's 10 buildings that I don't want. I've got 4 rerolls. I'm going to reroll past Harbor Pack. I'm going to hope for a different tropical island that's better. No and no. Sauna is good, but Luminescent is not. They also spawn with like blooming trees. Tundra can't do, not going to be doing a temperate island. And there's no tropical island, so this is just a reset. This just happens on, what is it? No Time to Dilly Dally runs. I mean, it also happens on the, like, a short journey one, where you only get 3 islands, which is basically only 2. So let's run it back. Bad island generation, doesn't matter, it's the first island. I shouldn't say bad, poor island generation. Right, didn't check the time, but that felt like a pretty good first island. Again, only a 10-second difference, doesn't really matter. What matters is the buildings that you get in your later islands. I'm not liking either of these. I think it's just going to be a reset. For islands 1 and 2, because you only need to score 200 and 400 points, the, like, actual island itself doesn't really matter. What matters is the building that you're getting out of it. Alright, 35 seconds to complete the first island. I think my best so far has been like 30 or 25. Alright, so cliff houses are only good in the event that I get a replace, because then I can take cliff houses early and not city pack. I'll eventually trickle into like 45 cliff houses, and then before I use my fortune teller, or not 45, but like a larger amount of them compared to other buildings, and then by the time that I want to use my replace, I'll have like 30 of these, that turns into 45 other buildings. I only have like 10 cliff houses to place by the end of the game, and I have a lot more like parks or hermitages or mountain shrines or whatever other buildings that I have. It also does make the fortune tellers. I'm hoping to get 3 with the amount of duplications that I have. 1 duplicate, 1 bargain. They would amount to how many points if I'm getting an extra 15 buildings out of them? That's 45 per fortune teller, so 50 per fortune teller. Score multiplied up to about 70 per fortune teller. That's about an extra 210 points off of the replace boon, plus all of the buildings extra that I get adding to like the percentage bonus of my score. Sure, it's fine. This is like one of those buildings like Terrace where it's like, I'll take it, but it's not part of the base build. They do actually, ever since the update, play a lot easier. Here, let me go into photo mode to see where the statue is on this island. Can I play my cliff houses near it? I don't think down on on this side, but maybe up here they'll be in range. So ever since cliff houses got a buff to score 2 off of each other, they're now much easier to just play as like solo buildings. You don't need to have a shaman beside them to make sure that they scale, or a city center or anything like that. They can just be by themselves. Okay, I'm gonna do a return to form here and take every building that isn't city center. I think I've been falling into that trap too much. After using it to like great effect on Wisp Islands, I think I'm taking it when I shouldn't on these islands. 2 lumberjacks go down, and then the 2 sawmills. Brickyard can go in between all the masons. Sand pits pointed at the brickyard. Okay. What's next? New seaweed farm to pick up all these seaweed fields. That's great. Fields beside the statue, and that's the end of this level. Sustainable we won't need, neighborly we won't need. I'm fine to push it a bit further on the packs that we have, because it's only like 100 points that I need or something similar. So I should get it after placing all of these buildings here. There we go. What is this boon? I'm not going to need a statue at the end. I'm not going to need either of those boons at the end. Okay, looking for verdure. Perfect. I don't exactly care for Tundra. It's a little bit harder to play than the other islands because you don't get as many trees from verdure, but on Island 3 it doesn't matter. We'll take a seaweed farm pack. They can be really strong on these islands, like out here. And we're looking to play this for a bunch of points so I don't have to use any of my fields, and we're hoping for a second seaweed farm. That's perfect. Okay, and then we just place a bunch of fields around these 2 guys. That's basically the level. Come on. not a good position. That's the good position. More fields. Lots more fields. I guess I can use these for more trees to make my lumberjacks better. I'm just going to use them for fish, so I don't have to think about them. These guys should go around the statue, if possible. Nah, that's fine. Another 2 seaweed farms. Let's try taking some of the fields that I've already placed with these guys. And then I can start doubling up on them eventually. Breweries can just go anywhere. Masons I'll stack together so that when I get something like a plateau or anything that plays off of them, they'll be nicer, like these mills, I guess. A warehouse in the middle of this would go crazy. Let's fix that placement. Sure. Lighthouse, can it fit here? Oh, it can. That's really nice. And I'll just place this one randomly. Cliff houses first, shaman second. And we don't even need to. Let's see what the boons are. Sealed boon, very easy. Score multiplier we want to save for later. And let's see if I can get enough points for the next boon. With how slow I've been playing these ones, or like getting the extra boons, it seems like I'm going to be playing for Island 5 this time instead of Island 6. Where we can go anywhere. Seaweed fields go out here. More cliff houses. And a shaman here for 51, and that should cap it off. There we go. Okay, what's the boons? Replace, we wanted to keep that one, but level up is stronger. Adverger sucks that we're having to get these good boons for later, and then between bargain and score multiplier. This, honestly, that's a reset. Too many of the good boons have been taken early, and I want to, like, guarantee my draws, so I need to be seeing more bad boons early on. Brewing pack, hopefully. No such luck. Two seaweed farms. Lucky me. Alright, a bit of a slow first island, 43 seconds, but again, nothing to worry about. We're just looking for our buildings to make sure that our later islands are better. Couldn't have asked for a better start. Verdure and a tropical island. I'm hopefully going to blow through this one. Let's play our verdure. Brewing packs nearby. I can actually stamp out that flower so that my next verdure is worth more points in the area. It's a bit hard with all the other flowers here. I think I'm just going to play verdures elsewhere then. Yeah, probably much better to do that instead of trying to get the extra 4 points around the statue. I made a misplay and took city center. We've got 2 city centers saved. Really, I don't have enough space to place it there. Well, another slow island, slower than I would like. Okay, we're gonna play this for the next boon, just because it's easy to get an extra 100 points on this island. At least I think. I hope. Another brewery. Can that fit down here? Can't. Very slow island. Much slower than I would have liked. Okay. Both replace and level up. We don't need to replace that badly. We don't need Terrace. And we don't need the Wisp. Okay, let's go next. That was a 2-minute island 2. I'll try to, instead of just remembering the, first island's time, remember the later island's times as well. Track myself against those times to see where I'm falling behind and why I'm falling behind. This time I fell behind because I took City Pack, obviously. Fortune Teller, another building that we want. We don't get to take the Rising Lava Island, which is great for City Packs and being able to bounce the Wisp so many times, but it's fine. We've got Verdure. We should be able to make it through this one pretty easily. Let's fit this here. Now they like fitting in those corners. You can fit in this one, right? Yep. And then we place... I guess we wait to place these, or that brewery. I'm not going to think too much about the Verdure placements. Just go there and not down there. Whatever, it's 9 points. I'll take it. I made another... We'll see how much time I lose. I've already played this for 30 seconds. It's 27 minutes. We'll see how bad taking that City Pack turns out to be. Honestly, not too bad so far. Getting 6 mansions is going to be hard to place all of them, and for the amount of points that I would like them to be. Yeah, 11-point buildings is not where it's at. Okay, these all have to be houses now. I can't do anything with the farming pack now because I've already taken up all of the space around the statue. Okay, let's just get this fortune teller down before it starts running low on points. These guys are not going to be worth a lot since I've placed a bunch of masons where they would like to go. Taking too long trying to place this one building too. Probably a reset, but I'm gonna see how long this island actually ends up taking me. Time myself against it next time. 2 city centers. Wow. Probably terrible spots. Yeah, absolutely terrible spots for them. We're close enough to the end that maybe it doesn't matter too much. I've already given up on this run. Mentally, you know? Plateau would be good up here if I can make it fit, or by the masons. No? I didn't think so. This would be good in between here. Alright, so that island was 3.5 minutes. Yeah, I'm not running out. That's also a, what is it? 2 boons that I want to take. Both my duplications are there. Alright, let's run it back one more time. Or one more good time. If I don't get one of the buildings that I want at the start, that's so quick a reset that it does not matter. Not taking city pack. Not taking city pack this time. There we go. Okay, dodged around it. Alright, 35-second island. Nah. I started playing, prepping myself too much for the future. Getting all of those brickyards beside each other would allow my masons to score really well, but I don't need the masons to score really well. I just need to get out of the island at 200 points. Fortune teller, that's a good start. We'll take brickmaker pack to start out. Brewing pack's another good one. Not city pack. Not city pack. Okay. Go. Let's get the last boon on this island, since it should be pretty quick. There we go. That's it. Back out. Tab 1. Don't need a precious. Don't need a sustainable. Don't need an add statue. Let's go next. So that one was 1 minute and 30 seconds instead of 2 minutes compared to last time, which is good, especially because I got all 3 of the boons this time, and I think last time I didn't. Maybe I did. Can't fully remember. So I should hold myself to the standard of 30 seconds for the first island, 1 minute and 30 seconds for the next island. Sauna is a good island, or Sauna is a good building to use. I don't have the verdures to like supply a bunch of trees to it yet, but that's the plan in the future. We'll start with the brickmaker pack. It's a pretty bad island for it, but I just dislike starting with seaweed farms. Brewing pack is the next best one. Oh, and it's 4 fields too. That's great. Not city pack. Probably spent too long trying to place that one building. Not city pack. No good way to line those guys up. Should remember that for the future so that I don't keep trying to do that. Not city pack. Is there another farm in there? Perfect. Okay, now we can go crazy on seaweed field points and not have to worry about this island anymore. A 3rd brewery. Wow. Let's get some wheat fields down beside the statue. Sauna, I guess it's not getting any better. Better seaweed farm. Can I profit off the fields that I currently have? Sure, let's do that. The shaman's probably best around these walls here, like they usually are. Fields. That's a lot of shamans. Sure, I'll just place another one here for 11 points. Is there any other good ones? Sure. Sure. I'm gonna get, one extra boon here before moving on. Is it worth it? Probably not, but I've already committed to it. Or mentally I've committed to it. Don't think I've actually played enough this level to have committed to it. Come on. There we go. Okay. Let's see what they are. Wall platform, don't need it. Sealed boon is great to pick up. Reroll, definitely want those. Score multiplier blossom, I'll come into contact with another score multiplier, hopefully. Add verdure, summon wisp, don't need a wisp. Don't need increase area. Okay, let's go next. So I don't have score multiplier, which means I need to come across it somehow in the future so that my fortune tellers can have score multipliers on them, which is either going to be, I guess I have to luck into it with my sealed boons, or I need to luck into it with my like after I pick up my blossom, I need to re-roll into it, so I need to save some re-rolls. I definitely don't want the aviary. It's not good for when you're playing this quickly. I don't exactly want the terrace, but I don't want to spend my re-rolls here. I want to spend them looking for score mult when I get to my last island. So let's take it. Also, the precipitous island type, the one that has you start with cliff houses, not that bad now, since cliff houses have gotten buffed. Well, let's start them beside the statue. Hopefully there's enough space for one underneath that guy. Probably isn't, but... yeah, there isn't. Okay, rough. There, and then up top here. That works. Definitely not going to take City Pack. As much as I might be building a residential area here, I do not need my draws going into those houses. I want them going into my cliff houses. Which, they're putting in some work. 20 points per building, roughly. Maybe 15 sometimes. Let's get you on this corner now. Yeah, I've played nothing but cliff houses and been fine. I might need to start taking them. I knew that it could fit in there. I shouldn't be placing these guys down here. And I should be placing you back here. And I should... oh, this shaman is going to be a lot of points. Yeah. What about down here? Let's go down here so that my cliff houses in the future can keep scoring off of it. Oh, it's nice that cliff houses are good. Come on, there we go. Nice. I guess I could put the terrace here. Make some more buildable space there for when I eventually pick up the city center. Let's start working on these seaweed fields. Let's go with this side. Not as great of a spot as it could have been. I'm rushing though. Let's see what a fountain looks like over here. Right, fountains don't score off of cliff houses. Cliff houses score off of fountains. It's the other way around. I think now is when I'm going to be taking city center. I think I'm not getting as many cliff houses as I want anymore. Crazy thing to say. Alright, city center can go up here, mansions in front of it, houses behind it, I guess. Let's see if any of these guys will help me out. Don't need adaptable, I guess we don't have level up. Man, I don't want to take one of these two, but I'll skip through it. another shaman. Great. Fortune teller, let's slap that guy down now. Oh, it's also worth a lot with the cliff houses. Okay, I'm really coming around on cliff houses, man. Alright, let's take the boon and move to the next island. There's no more that I have. Okay, good. I did not see how long that island took. That was my island 4, right? Okay, and I didn't time how long my island 3 took, so I can't, like, even determine what it's going to be when I come out of the level here. I'm at 5,500 points. I'm going to send it on this island just to see what it's... can I... See, because I need verdure, and then I need a tropical island afterwards. I need to take this verdure and try rushing through this island as much as I can. Sacred Rocks is going to help that out. 20 minutes. Okay. Looks like this is going to be our green area. So many points early on. Okay, I shouldn't be thinking about it this much. Brickmaker pack. Good, we have sand. Getting a bit worried there. Not city pack. Let me... Okay. Photo mode. Let's find a good spot for the seaweed farms. I like this little... Yeah, okay. This is the perfect place for seaweed farms. And you'll see why once I get a second or a third one of them. There's my second. I'm gonna wait for a third. Which means I shouldn't play that one yet. Which... This is my green area. I don't want to put down hop fields there. Let's start in a new area. Verdure is not happening over there. Okay. Okay, let's cash in on those 40 points to help me get another seaweed farm, hopefully. Come on, seaweed farm. There it is. Okay, so then... Oh, that isn't it, right. Let me take some time to think. So the reason why I want to start the third seaweed farm is because I'll be able to just fill up that place all around the circle with a bunch of fields. What am I building next? I have a bunch of masons, so the masons should go down by the brickyards. The masons should have enough space for plateaus to be beside them, so I'm thinking the plateaus filling out the... how would I say it? This space right here. So plateaus bridge this gap, which means that my masons should be lining this wall and this wall. Okay. Still not what we're looking for. Lumberjack over here was where I was placing them. I guess I could also do wheat fields here, but it feels better to put them down beside these statues. I want the 40 points. The shamans are going to be great around all the flowers over here. I guess that's a bad position for one. It's fine. It's fine. This one, there's probably a crevice down here that it likes. Yep. I should not be placing a mill down there. Still no seaweed farm that I'm looking for. Add cliff house, sure. We don't need that for the last one. Let's get some houses over here to break this sacred rock open. There we go. Plateau. This is going to fill out the space in between the masons. I think I have too many buildings to get the seaweed farm that I'm hoping for now. I'll just send it on 2. Okay. Last check. Nope. Okay. We're sending it on 2. point these nets in the same direction. Okay. See, I have both the area in front of them and the area behind them to play these farms on now. No, you're kidding me. Why? Why does it give me the third one now? Punished. We have all 5 of our mills. Sure, I'll just play them. Cash them in. Let's also get this fortune teller down. Might be worth more points later, but I don't want to worry about it. New seaweed farm, not going to be worth anything over there. I don't have any good spots for fishers. Let's just place them randomly around the outside. Don't have any planned spots for fishers, I should say. That is the end of this level. Now we're going to prime a blossom going into the next one. We've already primed a blossom. Okay. Last island, I have 4 rerolls. We're looking for tropical and nothing else. We've got the sauna. We've got the mountain shrine. Do we have the mountain shrine? I don't think we have the mountain shrine. Okay, we're going into island 6 with 10,000. And I think 16 or 17 minutes, which is the most that I've had so far. Oh, it's tropical, but it's raising. This is... Oh, it's hard to say if it's good or not. Okay, so a rising island means I can't plan out my thing from the beginning, and I need to do so, like, take it as it comes. I can always pause to let the timer not tick down, but let the island rise out of the ground, so that's not going to be something that I have to consider. I don't like the building of pyres, but I need a tropical area. It doesn't have a building I want. It doesn't have a, like, modifier that I want either. And the island itself is something that I feel like is going to be hard to play around. I don't know if there's going to be a big green area that I can make, if it's going to be very mountainous and then beaches at the bottom. So I'm going to reroll and hope to see another tropical. No and no. No and no. No, definitely not, and no. Come on, man. Come on. I should have taken it. Okay. I want to see how much with the, like, just the strategy that I have, how many points it's gonna... I was gonna say how many points is it gonna earn me, but this is such a bad generation. There's no space for anything here. What is this? Okay. New game. I can make it to Island 6 with 15 minutes. So, instead of what I did in practice of pushing to, what is it? The 5th island, I am going to be pushing to the 6th island. See you guys around.